Hi there, my taper tag friends. So today we're going to work on color again, but this is using different markers. So I've tried many different markers over the years, and these are three of my favorites that I'll share with you. Sorry, just need to get some light there. Okay, so these are little tags that I did and colored them with markers, and they really just pop. There's another little one that I've done colored with markers. So today I'm going to show you a couple of tricks. I just want to show those. I'm going to leave those there to give you some inspiration. Okay. So the first trick that I need to share with you is that if you want the clear true color using your markers, do not use your black Sharpie. You can use your acrylic paint. Make sure it's really dry first. Otherwise, don't ink your tag at all, and then you'll get the true color that you see in the Sharpie or in the pen. But for most purposes, I always ink everything because I like being surprised. I bought these Chameleon pens quite a long time ago, and I must admit they are also alcohol based, I think, but they didn't really work for me so well. Maybe you'll enjoy them. The bonus with the pens is that they've got two different nibs. They've got a little one and then a bigger one that's kind of like a brush, which does help if you're doing intricate designs. So let's color in something with the Chameleon pen. I'm going to leave that for the background. Okay, how about this little camper van? I think I want a green pen. So we are using the thicker part, and I use little round movements because I don't want the lines. Somebody asked, do I seal my projects with varnish? You know, when I'm making little things like a bookmark or a notebook or a tag, I honestly think it's not worth the effort to varnish it because, you know, you don't know what the person's going to do with it. And if they are, you know, put in a book, then your alcohol ink is actually not going to fade. It's going to, you know, remain vibrant. It's only if they are put in the sun for months on end that your inks will fade. Sure, they do wear with use. So if you are using your tag a lot, it is going to wear, but I think that adds to the charm. Okay, for this one, that's the paint section. I want to use the narrow one, and I've written there on the road. This pen is actually very nice for small detail like this, on the road. And this tag's so cool to give to a friend who's camping or traveling. And there you go, on the road. It makes it pop a bit. Do you think we should do the little camper van? Let's do the camper van in, I don't know what color to use. This lavender color. Let's try that. This lavender color is really pale, but that's okay. It'll just make the van pop a little. So some of the markers will rub off. They do not stay. You know, you can wipe them off with a cloth or with your finger. But these three are really good. And it doesn't make any difference if you go over it, because you're working with an alcohol marker, so it's not going to get any darker. It's just going to re-wet the ink, so you can't get darker than it is. But there's my little camper van. I think it looks quite cute. Do that piece there. On the road. And that's sweet and simple. It just adds a pop of color. Okay. Now we're going to use our Sharpies. Now I find the Sharpies are much more vibrant than the Chameleon pens. So for our Sharpie, let's do something like the rose. I always like making pairs of things. I don't know what it is. So we'll do a purple rose. No. Roses are red. If I can find a red Sharpie. Oh my word, you know. I'm gonna laugh at this. But I've even got a baby Sharpie. So we'll use the baby Sharpie. I'm going to color these a bit differently. So for this one, I'm going to color inside the areas, like the stained glass look, which you can do with the glass paints. Okay. Now this is a nice technique to learn, because when you're working with really intricate die cuts, you cannot use your glass paint because it's too thick, and nail varnish is also too thick, so a pen is great. And look how lovely that looks. Now for this one I'm going to do differently, and then you girls can tell me which one is the best. So which rose do you like? Okay, so I'm sure everybody's got some markers. The general craft or kids school felt pens don't work. You know, they really wipe off. As long as it's sort of an alcohol marker or alcohol-based marker, they seem to work the best. So if you know of any other make, please share it with us so we can play around as well. Okay. How cool is that? And then let's get some green and do the leaves. So this one we'll do like that. It's a very quiet Friday afternoon, and the house has been so noisy lately. I don't know why. Just, I suppose everyone's doing things, and you know, the dog barks, and then there's people going past. It's never ending. So that one, and then this one, should we just give a touch of color here? And there. So two tags exactly the same but colored differently. Which one do you prefer? Very lovely, don't you think? So that is using your Sharpies. You can see they're much more vibrant than the Chameleon pens. Okay, so then I discovered these recently. My son said to me, Mom, I'm ordering something from Takealot. Is there something you want? And I said, well, I don't know, let's try these. They're not very expensive. They really, compared to Sharpies, they are pocket money. Sharpies are really expensive. And I thought, let's try them. The nice thing is, similar to the Chameleon pen, they have two different nibs and like a chisel nib, which is fantastic. So I thought, right, let's try those. And they work so well. I was really, really surprised at how nicely they work. So let's use our chisel tip. These work great for backgrounds. And remember, I've inked this, so I'm not getting the true color. And they definitely are alcohol based, because you can see, I'll lift it up for you to check. You can see if I dab it here, it's going to leave marks like with the alcohol ink. But they are a pleasant surprise and so much cheaper than a Sharpie, and great for backgrounds. And then obviously the intricate areas, because you've got your little nib. My light is not good. I've got to decide which way is the best way. It's always easier to sort of outline everything and then color it in. Outline there. I want to keep my border on this tag. Okay, so I'm just coloring it in, and then I'm going to show you that trick or two. Okay, so there are two things that I want to show you on this specific tag. Okay, if you look at the background, it's extremely patchy. Okay, so that's fine. It will be patchy because it's alcohol and it's drying really fast. But from the previous tutorial that we learned about alcohol ink techniques, we're going to just add some interest by dabbing little dots with your marker. Now, funny enough, this doesn't work so well with the Sharpie or the Chameleon pen. It only seems to work really well with this pen. So you've got to play with the products you have or that are available to you and test, so you can see what works. And it really is lovely. I'll lift it up now so you can see it. So color your background first, and then you can add a little bit of interesting techniques. Okay. Now, isn't that cute? Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the background. It's lovely. Now, you will see over here, I went past the line. So a great way of fixing that is just a cotton bud with either a little bit of acetone, so I've got some nail varnish remover here, or a small bit of hand sanitizer. And there you go. So if you want to tidy up, just do that. And there you go, all finished. So let's do our matching tag that I made. Oh. Okay, I'll use the same color of this Touch Coco, quite a funny name, and we're going to try a different background technique. So once again, let's color it in the edges. I remember when we were little, my mother always used to say, outline it first and then color it in, and then you won't go out the lines. So I hear my mother's voice as I'm working here today. I find it's easier to move your tag than it is to try and move your hand to color in. So I keep spinning my tag around, as you noticed. There you go. Okay, colored in. All right, so once again, you can see that I made a little blaps out of the lines there. This is still wet enough to wipe, and there I've made a mistake, so I'm just carefully removing it, and there. Okay, so now you can compare the two different techniques. I don't know if the light can show you that. So this one doesn't look so nice. What we're going to do is we're going to take a different shade of, no, I don't want this one, sorry, a different color of our Touch Coco, and we are going to try and see what happens if we do a different color. So don't be afraid to try different things. So I guess today I'm a bit talked out. I haven't really got much to say to you girls, and I don't know, colouring in just reminds me of my childhood. So, you know, it was go to your room, keep quiet, go and colour in something. So maybe that's why when I'm colouring in, I get into a different crafting mode. Okie dokie. So which one do you prefer? One color or two? So I think what you could also try is, you know, using your alcohol, your sanitizer or your acetone. You can also make little dots, and it's going to react. Just make sure that it's not too saturated. So I don't know why I can't focus. You can see the little dots. It kind of looks distressed. So just play around. And then, of course, the trick is when you really hate what you did and it really doesn't look good, all you do is remove everything with your sanitizer or your acetone. Take all the color off and start again. So I hope that was a bit of inspiration for you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing on the Taper Tag Challenge on Facebook. Have an awesome weekend.